So, good morning everybody, and welcome to Berlin, the beautiful Bertelmans building that you will hear a little bit more about in a minute. We're really happy to have all of you here, that you made the effort to come here, because it's actually only Martin who's from Berlin, everybody else has been traveling. But we'll come back a little bit to talk about you, but first I will present our team very shortly. Team team. So if we start now, Johan? So, no, we have, together we six, we present, we have 150 years of international retail experience, the six of us. We also have a couple of members who are not here. Nancy from Spain couldn't come, and also we have a financial guy, Håkan, who is working for Kingfish in the UK. So for the rest, we are all here. Oh, Chris starts.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris. I'm Chris. Nice to meet you. So we will all start our presentation with one question. And my question is an important question: change and innovation. Why do we struggle so much with it? I'm sure you have been talking about it for 20 years now. That no one really seems to be able to catch it. If I nail it down, there are two main reasons. First one is very simple. Change and innovation are, in the beginning, cash flow negative. If you're working in a company which has to deliver on orders, that could be jeopardize change and innovation. So that is definitely one. That is on an organizational level. But the most important, I think, is on a personal level. Because we tend to look at the things with the same things that we have in mind. And I will do a test with you. I'm going to show you a picture and then I'll ask you, what did you see? Okay? Now, what did you see?
A beautiful bottle.
Sorry?
A beautiful bottle.
A beautiful model. Other things? Other things? A beautiful body. Breasts. Okay. You know, they did the same test and they showed this image to children of 10 years old, maximum 12 years old. Did you know what they saw? Dolphins. And now we see you all. Where are the fucking dolphins? Why don't we go back? Here's a dolphin. Here's a dolphin. Here's a dolphin. Here's a dolphin. There's like 15 dolphins.
And it's written.
Yeah, and it's even written on for them. But it just goes to show that because you have your preconceived ideas and your history, you see things through your own glasses, which jeopardizes a lot change and innovation. Thank you. Go on.
Chris is Belgian, worked for a long time for IKEA, and also I had the pleasure working with him first in H&M in different countries and then also in Europe. And lately in Lola Lisa, so we've been working for 25 years. Next one.
Yeah, shortly. One thing that I came across quite recently, interesting, that fascinated me, was the refunds and returns from the e-commerce that has been, as you all know, is increasing. The e-commerce returns is way higher than the Morton Bricker stores. We all know that. We know it's much more expensive. In UK only, by this coming holiday, £1 billion will be returns from e-commerce. So it is, of course, a big issue. And I myself have been sitting in boards where we doing, so to say, looking into, of course, customers, consumers should be charged for transports and deliveries. And of course, we need to monitor this extremely costly and keeping down those returns, or keeping control of it. But recent studies and other things have proven, and experience have proven the other things around. It's actually consumers that are having higher returns that is more profitable for the companies. For the simple reason that they're buying more. It creates a more trust to the companies, and that influences the more selling and the more profitability for the companies. So in other words, a generous refund policy is actually increasing the sales and profitability. So, and as Craig Atkinson says at the Vice President of Supples, our best customers have the highest return rates. They are also the ones that spend the most money with us and are our most profitable customers. So, and it's quite clear that the consumers are very carefully looking into this, And 50% of the shoppers, almost 50% of the shoppers say that they would buy more if the returns policy was more hassle-free. I think that's quite fascinating. And I'm not saying that we should, of course, increase the amount of returns. But for me, it's fascinating to see how to look at the problem from a different point of view and try to tackle it from another way. And we'd love to discuss this with you later on today. Someone has to say. Thank you.
Very interesting. Johan is Swedish, lives in Holland. Also, we had the pleasure working together in the 90s in Belgium for H&M. And then Johan has worked for Foot Locker, MQ, Levi's, etc.
Great. Look forward to speak to you more later.
Thank you.
Chris?
Hot topic, 1 minute for customer experience. That's probably very short, but I think we all dream. This picture is from London, Apple Store, and this is what we can call a happy customer. I think all of us, right? And actually, on that picture, I could find quite a lot about what is the customer experience. Of course, Apple is probably a little bit extremely specific because they combine so much fantastic product, great concept, and they have more or less everything, great stuff. But of course, I believe this is where we would like our customers ending up every day. So, but I would say one challenge is that we talk a lot about customer experience, but we still focus on customer service, which is quite different. And the difference between customer service and customer experience is actually very interesting to dig into it. Because if not, we just made a little mistake on what it should be. So what creates a customer experience, a positive experience, is actually quite a long list. But I would say two things seems to be quite important. Definitely, you have to have a storytelling. Content. We heard that, right? We have to say, yesterday you can sell product like this, so you don't need to create a story. Today, I think even if you are not in a premium segment or in the high end, you have to create a content. You have to tell a story around that because simply customers have changed their behavior, the way they are buying. They are conscious of things. So that's very important, and of course you have to have a concept. Just putting a product in a place without more thinking around that or online, it's not enough. And the end of the chain, if we can say, sales associate as an ambassador. Today, hi, welcome, may I help you? Who care about that kind of approach? Today it's different. Sales associate role has to change. They have to be able to be a bit more technical, and they are not selling, in fact, directly. They are more representing the brand, and afterwards, where the customers will buy or not, online, offline, next time, doesn't matter at the end. But I think this part is of course definitely crucial, but changing a lot.
Perfect. Thank you, Stefan. Stefan is French, living in Finland, a long time in H&M, but also a very long time in bestseller, charge of Belgium and France.
And Finland is a little mistake because I thought the girlfriend was Swedish. A little mistake on the name can bring you to the wrong place. So be sharp. No, it's one. I choose a Swedish wife, so I move.
I have a certain passion for discount and pricing. The pricing of retail products. And now, knowing that 2/3 of everyone shopping has done their own little price survey online before they go shopping, and also knowing that 60% of people leaving bricks and mortar stores are actually unhappy with the price they found and think that they can find a better price elsewhere. So having a full control on your pricing strategy, and even more now when we have the unseasonal bad weather, or we have other good reasons why we're not selling, especially in the clothing industry, which we are very focused on, blaming it on the rain. As a consequence, you will see in the Black Friday or Christmas, The discounts, I think most of us, either they were working with a company or trying to get these, of course, there are more and more scarce people that are actually buying our products for full price. But then how can I then drive my stock so that at the end of the season it's as limited as possible and that I'm actually driving sales on the items that I have a problem with or a potential problem, and not taking my assault rifle and just shooting discounts all over the place. This is something that I'm very passionate about and something that is immediately on the bottom line. Because you have tools, for example, that RedView is going to show you later, which is fantastic. But if you don't have the mindset in your commercial organization that is constantly working with focusing on where you eventually have a stock problem, taking care of that there and then, and not continuing to just be because my worst competitor, oh, they have 20% off on all the trousers, we need to do that well. We don't have a trouser problem, but we have an outerwear problem, so let's give them 50% on what they have a problem with instead of trying to smear out all over. That is my passion. If you think that sounds interesting, you know where I live today.
No.
And just to say, Johan, I've been abroad for 20 years, but have returned back nearly to Sweden. He lives in Malmö. And he's been working actually also with me for many years, different companies, including Hoplund and H&M and New Look. But then we worked also for Hunkemöller, European sales manager, and also for Esprit later. France, Sweden, Scandinavia. Very good. Herr Bönnerlycke.
Christian Bönnerlycke. I'm not from the retail industry, but coming from the online gambling industry, I could say that one thing, that the topic I think could be interesting to discuss, and we will touch points during the day, is actually that I think that doing with online business, you must go from a marketing budget to a customer acquisition cost. And I would say that most of the boards and in the retail companies, they don't think about CPA at cost per acquisition, rev share, or whatever to do. And that is new things that you have to, the retail business have to look into. And also include maybe the customer offer, and not as a sales cost or a markdown, but as a marketing cost. So coming from the online gambling industry, I would say that that is how the online gambling industry always has looked into this, and I think it's very similar, and that the retail business can learn a lot from that. Of course, also I would say that the marketing organizations need to totally change regarding online and social media. I meet a lot of retailers who say, "What are you doing with the Facebook?" Well, we let the consultant work with that. The problem is that the figures you get from online on Facebook and social media are so important. That is the things you have to work with instead of giving that away. And then, of course, Patrick from Forza Football, who will come later on, he is obsessed with the registration and payment processes. And I would say that in online gambling, we have been working very, very much with this. But I would say if you look at the retail business, this is maybe one of the key things that you should look at in the online sales. The registration and payments should take less than a minute. And I'm surprised that not all boards are actually checking this out every board meeting, how long the process is taking, and measure from that. Hope to discuss more about that during the day.
Very good. Thank you. A little bit on one of my passion, which is the KPIs in retail. I think that we are still, and I mean, some of you are in different boards, we are looking in the old way. We are old people, so we look at it as it was. But the reality today is that there is other things that we should measure. And these are examples of the old KPIs, we all know them: selling per square meter, traffic, visitor conversion, etc., etc. But what we really need to look at now is when we merge the online with the offline, how do we measure the new KPIs? How do we measure the performance in the stores? Upsales on click and collect, number of new emails, selling on e-com from store, combo customers, etc. These are the things we measure. And I'm involved together with Jean-Christophe in one company in Germany, Orse, and I think they're really a great example, and they counted on this. So if you want to discuss this further, feel welcome. This is an area I am very passionate about, and I believe it's also a key to future retail. So this was a little bit just an introduction of the team, we are quite wide. We all have 20 to 35 years of operational experience. We are not at all as some other consultants, very PowerPoint and very academic. We are more hands-on. So if you want to discuss any of these subjects or others, we are here and we have a lot of time today to discuss these different subjects. Now a few more things before we start. Everybody knows, but this is just a few thoughts. First of all, the internet, the e-com is growing everywhere, we know that. But we can see it's a huge difference between the countries. You see lowest here is Spain, who's still below 3%, while UK is already on 16%. What of course is common for all countries, and of course France has to be a little bit different, they actually went down last year. But except that, everybody is growing.
France especially.
So I think this is one thing we have to keep in mind, not just that it's growing, but it's growing from different levels. So when we as retailers work, we have to know what is the local market and how do we do on that market. Another thing which I think is really interesting is talk about profitability in retail. Profitability in retail is going down, we know that. And in some countries more, in others less, but in generally retail is going down. And we always talk about the big ones. The really huge profitable companies, the huge groups. And if you look at them, it's quite interesting. This is a slide showing H&M, Zara, Uniqlo and Primark. And if you can see their profitability in percentage of turnover the last 10 years, first of all in average for all of them, they've gone down from 15 to 13%. And if you go even deeper, it's only Zara who has the same profitability as 10 years ago in terms of profit per sold euro. But if you then say, where is the profit coming? It's one word, growth. Only growth has increased the profit in these cases. And I think we should not forget that when we discuss, because we talk so much about success. These companies are not extremely more successful than before. They're actually growing very quick, and they're growing in a very clever way. So let's take that with us for further discussions. If we come back to today, the aim of today is really to talk about the retail revolution, which means is what we are living now. And we had a good discussions yesterday evening with a lot of you. It's a revolution, and we can go back and you've all seen the different ages of retail. We know that. But let's focus on what is happening now. And for that today, we have collected some innovative thoughts and also new tools. So we have 3 presentations that we will see, one coming up rather soon. And we have 6 what we call partners, companies we work with, we know, that we present their tools or their way of looking at it. And then beside that, we have created as much time as possible for talking to each other. So the aim should be that when you see something interesting, you get to know more about it by talking to the people. And I just took out one thing which I think is also mind-blowing in a certain way. In a study, 76% of customers want retail stores to become showrooms, designed around the customer experience. And among the younger, talking young in this case under 34, there's actually 88% who agree with this. And if you look at it as such, the most valued aspect of store experience was to be able to touch and feel the products. But shops, they're not dead at all. They're actually going to have to change quite radically in this sense. We've already seen some stores with showrooms. I saw it on the NRF, we visited some stores in New York last year, shoe stores, etc. One shoe store there, which only have one piece per size, but staff who fit and then they order it. They said that 26% conversion rate. No stock in store. In the middle of Soho in New York. So there is things happening here. And I think that this is what shops need to offer, personalized service and more of an experience than just offer stock. And I think that all this showrooming tendency, we see it, not a lot. The question is how much will it come? So let's have that as one of the points we discuss. And before now letting the word over to Martin, I just want to say, today here in this group, we have quite a lot of retail experience. So these are some of the brands that we have, some of us, or quite a few of us, been involved in leading positions. So there is a lot of knowledge.